Hello, welcome back to the Creative Differences Podcast. I'm Dallas, and I don't think we do enough fan casts here anymore.
I'm Gabby, and I was going to say, I can't remember the last time I was in a fan cast.
Well, that's an interesting thing to say because I feel like you being in a fan cast doesn't, because you disappeared for a while for good reason. Anyway,
That's true.
I'm Colin, and this better be the fastest fan cast we ever do.
Yeah.
I'm Demi, and it won't be the fastest fan cast we ever do. However, I agree with Dallas. We don't do these nearly enough. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture-related items. Today, we will be fan casting The Flash family in honor of the release of The Flash.
Yes.
Finally, at long last.
Zoom, zoom, vroom, vroom, all that. Fast like a NASCAR.
Flash fact.
Various fast things. Before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe, because with a bigger audience, maybe James Gunn will see this, realize we're good at this, hire us, and I can quit my job.
Woo!
That is the dream.
Hire us in what capacity?
Casting?
Cast.
I don't
do
care.
you want to be a casting director?
I would love to be a
He
casting
just
director.
needs the foot in
Okay.
the door.
Listen, I'll just be his assistant on set if that's what he needs.
Yeah.
I'll shadow him.
Yeah.
I'll just start casting myself.
I'll start casting Gabby.
All right.
All right, let's do this.
Yes, audience people, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you might want to go to YouTube because there will be pictures inserted by our lovely Demi of the characters and the actors, and you might not know all these characters. We don't even know all these characters, and we be picking obscure actors sometimes. You be like, who is that?
Mostly
then-
me.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you be like, oh, that's who Demi's talking about.
Sorry. I'm not sorry.
You're not sorry.
I
But
want
yeah,
you guys to be cultured and obscure actors.
let's get it popping.
See?
Rules of the game.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, rules of the game, because we do have rules sometimes. You can't use anybody who has already been in the DCEU, even though we're about to reset the timeline.
See, I was going to ask,
Yep.
how does that apply to this? Because this
I
would
feel
come
like-
after
Should that still be a
the
rule?
I feel like the
Flash.
rule is don't cast anybody who has been associated with the Flash as we know him in the DCEU.
Got it.
Okay.
Fair.
Okay.
So, don't cast like Kiersey Clemens.
Yeah.
Got it.
Don't cast Ben Affleck,
Fair.
Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, you know, the Justice League, basically.
The people be like, aren't you? No.
Basically, yeah.
Cool.
All right, you guys ready?
Yup.
See?
First character on our list is Jay Garrick, the original Flash and member of the Justice Society of America. A kind and dedicated scientist, as well as one of the oldest superheroes around, he still fights crime and often acts as a mentor to younger heroes.
Wow.
Dallas, who you got? Start us off.
So, first of all, I filled out this fan cast years ago
Wow.
and then went back to it and switched it up a little bit. I kept my J because my J, I was like, who's old but still looks like they could be a superhero? So here we are. Kurt Russell is my J.
I really
Garrick.
thought you were going to stop with who's old.
Who's old? Who's old? Al Pacino. No, I was kidding.
Well, he kind of, he played a villain.
He did.
Right?
Yeah, he's done the stuff. And, you know, he got,
Murked.
yes. But I was going to say, he came to prominence doing a lot of action roles
Oh,
back in his day.
Yes.
And your day, Gabby, because you're also old.
yeah, I'm an
Right.
ancient baby.
So yeah,
I'm
he's
timeless.
done Sky High. He's been in the Guardians movie. Like, he played Santa Claus. Not sure that has anything to do with it, but he looks good in red. So Kurt Russell, he's that dude. He old as hell, but he's still that dude, and that's pretty much how I look at Jay Garrick. So Kurt Russell is my Jay Garrick.
Woo.
We go to Gabby.
Yes, Gabby.
I'm next. Okay. So I was like, I have no idea who this is. So I looked up photos and I saw the live action version of him, but it's mostly the photos I'm going off of because, again, I don't know anything. And I was like, who's old and looks like they would look cool in that outfit? And my answer was Viggo Mortensen, who is 64.
Ooh.
All right.
And I was like, he could do that. I've seen him blonde. I've seen him like, you know, as Aragorn, but, you know, mostly blonde. And also, you know, just based off of his role as Aragorn, like, I feel like he would fit into that sort of mentor space very well. And if he needs to like posture or make like, you know, speeches, I think he can handle it because he's such a great actor. So yeah, Viggo Mortensen is my choice.
Word.
Colin.
Colin, who's your old man?
Man, were we living together when I made this fan? I can't remember. I know where
Yes,
Probably.
we were at like a bagel shop and I was just doing a bunch of fan casts years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were living together at the time.
My God, what a time. Anyway, so Jay Garrick, he's old. So I figured let's cast an old person. So I cast Kyle MacLachlan.
Oh, damn.
Ooh, I like Kyle MacLachlan.
That's
I
a
know.
good one.
He's great. He's one of those actors like I never really think about, but I see him all the time and I'm like, yo, you're great.
I loved him on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He played Chloe Bennett's dad.
Yeah. Like he's been around the block in terms of like genre fiction. So
Yeah.
I mean, he was in that Dune movie.
He was in Doom.
Yep.
He was in
Yep.
a lot of stuff.
He was in How I Met Your Mother.
He was in Showgirls.
man's just real good.
Yeah. Yep.
And I
He
think
has
he could
range.
play
Twin
like
Peaks?
a good
Oh,
because if you
That's
need
what
that sort
he's
of
known
like
for, yeah.
dad energy, he got it. He absolutely got it.
That's true.
He slaps. He can run
All right.
fast, I assume.
All right. To put into perspective how long ago I did this fancast, and then I needed to look at it this past week because it's been so long. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was in theaters, and I did this fancast while I was sitting in booth running the projector because I had nothing else to do.
Ooh, pre-pandemic.
4 years ago.
About 4 years ago, I chose someone who has played a superhero before.
Mm.
And you know what? Society didn't really vibe with the superhero that he played. And I feel like we already have an old man Batman, but maybe he'd make a good old man Flash. So George Clooney.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, George Clooney is a talented actor. He kind of looks like Jay Garrick, to be honest. I always imagine Jay Garrick as being very charming.
Fair.
Mostly because my knowledge of Jay Garrick comes from the Flash TV series, and that Jay was very cool, not cool, cool guy type of cool, but just like he was this really nice older mentor to have to teach you how to use the Speed Force and how to be the Flash. I just thought that it was just a really nice character and a really good mentor character. Like I said, George Clooney didn't have such a hot run as Batman.
No.
On
Nope.
paper, he would have been a really good Batman. But
Those nipples, man.
no, it wasn't. It was a lot of that movie.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the director of that movie didn't like that movie. I just think that he has the acting range to be able to play like the scientist type of guy, but also to be the mentor figure. And
Yeah.
I think that, I don't know, man, you look at his filmography and he's just such a great actor. He's also a really nice guy in real life. I have
Nice.
a story about meeting him.
Don't you two, Dallas?
No, he does
Not
not.
George Clooney.
Oh,
While working at ArcLight, he was just a
that
real,
was to me.
yeah, that was a real cool, he's a real cool dude, just real nice. But yeah, George Clooney was my choice. He's older. He looks good with the white hair. I think he would be great as the Flash. Also, he looks like he's at least enough in shape to still play somewhat of a superhero.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was kind of my thing too. I was like, I need someone who looks like they could run. Not necessarily that they do be running, but like if they had to, they could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So-
also funny because I also cast George Clooney as a mentor role in the DCEU because he was my Ted Kord Blue Beetle.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, he old superhero.
He got it.
George Clooney.
George Clooney, man. But yeah, that's my choice for Jay Garrick. So that takes us to our next character, which is Wally West, aka Kid Flash, who later becomes the third speedster to take on the mantle of the Flash. Wally is Barry's nephew through his marriage to Iris West and is a founding member of the Teen Titans and has been in the Justice League. He's often more brash, impulsive, and sarcastic than Barry Allen. Dallas, who you got for Wally West?
So,
That's your Flash.
yes, this is the character that I know the most out of this list. And to be honest, probably most of us know the most out of this list. I love Young Justice Wally.
Yay!
I love the Justice League cartoon. That is also Wally, much to my surprise when he took off his mask and had red hair. I was like, oh my God, it's Wally. But the Teen Titans version, he comes in as Kid Flash for like one episode, and the boy is smooth. He's just messing with the Hive. He's shooting a shot at Jinx. Like, this boy got game. But you can have the charisma, but also be silly. So I was like, someone young, someone black, because Iris is black now. Jabari Banks. I picked Jabari Banks
Nice.
because
I chose him as Cyborg.
you did. And I was like, ooh, I have to tuck that into my pocket for another fan cast. For those who don't know, Jabari Banks plays Will on the Bel Air show as a younger version of Will, who, if you've seen Fresh Prince, you know how goofy Will can be. And I know Jabari could do that too. But having both sides, having the smooth charisma side and the silly Young Justice Wally side, I was like, Jabari could do both of these. And I just want to see him more because dude's a really good actor. And he's really good at the sad Will Smith face. I don't know how much that would come into play here, but I want to see him more. So Jabari Banks. It's my Wally. Who's your Wally?
So I only know like 4 young actors. And
Same.
like I had to do quite a bit of Googling. But I was like, well, I want to make him black because Iris is black now. He needs to be young. And that narrowed it down to like 2 people. And one of those 2 people that I know is Caleb McLaughlin
Of course.
from Stranger Things.
Had to make it in there somehow.
He's going, every time we cast a young black superhero,
Yeah.
Caleb's going to find his way in
Yeah,
there.
'cause
Even
I
though he
only
should
know-
be static.
That would be great.
Static would be great for him. But I was like, I only know like 2 young black actors that are dudes because I only know like 2 teenagers. And he's not even a teenager
He's
anymore.
not.
He's in his 20s.
Yes.
But whatever. He still has a young face. Anyway, that's who I would like to be.
I respect it.
My Wally.
I think he'd be good at it.
I think so too. He's so charismatic. It's funny. Love him.
Colin, who's your young black actor?
Well, so it's like how young is young? But see, this person is almost 30, but if they perpetually sound like they could be a teenager, it's fine. So
I have an idea.
Ooh,
Shamik Moore.
Shamik Moore. I knew.
Hey.
As soon as you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, Miles Morales.
Yep. Just came out. In
Yeah,
the
I
movie,
was
playing
trying to
a
avoid
teenager.
30s. I was like early 20s, teens. But yeah.
See, that's the thing. As I saw his age, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't know." And then I thought, Miles. No, it's good.
Yeah, but we're not
He's
looking
good.
at him as Miles.
Yeah, it's funny because if we did this when Dope came out,
Yes.
100%
Yeah.
Shamik Moore.
Oh yeah.
And he still has the same voice.
Dallas, we really got to rewatch Dope, man.
It's so
Ooh,
good.
So good.
It's one of those things where
Him and Kirstie acting against
the
each other.
age
that
is
would be
the
fun.
only thing because he could do that personality-wise. He could play it very well. And we know that it's not just a case of him being a good voice actor. Like, he's a good on-screen actor, too. So it would
He and Kirstie acting off of each other again?
be great. Colin, did you even think of that?
No. He's never seen
No.
Dope.
You haven't seen Dope, Colin?
No.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, the reason that I love Kirstie Clemens so much is because of Dope. She's his best friend in that movie.
Yeah.
And you saw her in nothing else until Swarm.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
Kirstie, she's back.
Oh yeah, she's in Swarm.
And I guess
Well, technically,
the, like,
Zack Snyder.
cut of
Yeah.
this
Oh.
of Justice League
Oh yeah, I saw her
in that one scene.
I can't believe that I watched that.
Same.
They're finally starting to put her in promo for The Flash. I'm very happy about this.
Oh yeah,
Same.
I saw her in that. Yeah.
I don't know how much she's going to be in this actual movie, but
We bet to see.
We'll see. But cool. I rock with it. He
Thank
old,
you.
but I rock with it. Old for this role, not old for the earth.
Yeah.
yeah. Back when I cast him, it seemed a lot easier for him to be in the Teen Titans.
Mm.
But also, even though we are 4 years out
Mhm.
since then, James Gunn has since said that they are making a Batman movie where his Robin will be Damian, which
Yes.
means that
Ooh.
Dick Grayson will be Nightwing by this point, meaning he's a grown man, which means
Right.
that my casting still works.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
and also I wanted to pick somebody who looked like they could be related to Kirstie Clemens,
Fair.
obviously. But also, when we did our Justice League fan cast, I still wanted to make sure they also looked like the other Iris West that I cast, which is Greta Oniago,
Mm.
who is most well known. I probably also just butchered her last name, but she is also most well known for All American.
Right,
So
right,
I chose Justice Smith because Justice Smith.
Okay.
right. To me,
What?
Justice Smith was the person I put down when I did this years ago.
Exactly.
He was my first Wally.
Because he's amazing.
He's great. And he would,
He's perfect.
he'd be so good.
He'd be so
The
good.
only reason I took him out is because I wanted to find someone who I thought would play younger. But given what you just said of them telling the story of
Yeah.
Damian's already around. So
Yes.
the sidekicks are gotten older. And Wally doesn't have to be a kid. He started as Kid Flash. He has been the Flash for a while.
Yeah. Plus, Justice Smith still looks decently young, and in the past few years has actually played a high school character, from what I understand. From when
Yep.
HBO Max first started, he was on that Generation show or something that came out, which
Yep.
also has been removed from HBO Max.
This one.
Yes. He's a fantastic actor. He can do the nerdy aspect because for some reason speedsters are always kind of nerdy in some way, shape, or form. But also, he just has range. He can be the kind of rowdy, goofy character that you need. Although by the time he becomes the Flash, he's a little bit more mature. He's just, hot-headed more so than Barry is, and a lot more impulsive and a lot more brash. But he is a mature superhero by that point.
Mhm.
Also, again, a lot of my information about Wally West Kid Flash comes from Young Justice and from the Flash TV series with Grant Gustin
Right.
as Barry Allen. And on that show, Wally is played by Keenan Lonsdale,
Mhm.
and he is older
Yes.
because on that show, he's Iris's brother instead.
Oh, yeah.
So I felt kind of okay with the fact that he's closer in age to Kirstie. I just needed somebody who was younger than Kirstie who could play off being at
Mhm.
least her nephew.
Right.
But with the way ages work nowadays, like some people got nieces and nephews that are like
That's
their
true.
age.
Depending on how old your siblings are, you could be younger than your niece or nephew.
Yeah. At first, I was trying to recast it because I was trying to think of somebody younger. And then I kept going down the list of who else we had as characters on the list. And I was like, if I go younger for this, I got to go younger for those. And I just can't.
All right. I feel you.
So I was like, Justice is staying, especially because I already think that he's just perfect already for that role. And I didn't feel like trying to look for another perfect person for the
Yeah.
role.
I love that we were on the same wavelength at different
Yes.
times. I was like, Justice.
I mean, he's been on the list since I
yeah,
first
so we
did
probably
it. So
both were thinking that around the same time. too.
yeah, we've been on that wavelength for a
vibing.
while. So That is my Wally West. It is Justice Smith. Next up, we have Bart Allen, aka Impulse, and later Kid Flash, who is Barry Allen's grandson from the future. After being experimented on by President Thawne, he traveled back to the past with the help of his grandma Iris so that he could learn to use his powers from his uncle Wally. Yo, reading that backstory earlier, I was like, this is wild.
Comic books are so weird. I love it.
Also, I did not know that he is a descendant of Thawne.
I learned that while doing this fan cast.
Yeah.
Because I was like trying to see because there's a whole family tree situation. I was like, wait, whose kid is this?
The Flash family is quite literally the Flash family, except for Jay Garrick. So
Right. It's like a family.
Yep.
Bam. They all related.
But yeah, I did find that out.
Okay, somewhere in here, we'll have to revisit this. There's a Fast and Furious joke.
Yeah.
It writes
definitely
itself,
made
but-
it.
It does. It does. It's family. It's fast. It's the whole thing.
They are the Fast family.
They are.
Dallas, who would you choose for Bart Allen?
So we watch Young Justice.
Yes.
That is my
I love Bart.
pretty much all of my reference for Bart is Young Justice, played by Jason Marsden. Shout out Jason Marsden. He's always great. But he has this frantic kind of hyper energy, which makes sense.
He's
You're a kid.
Impulse.
Your name is Impulse. You're a speedster. You do things fast. You're impatient.
Which apparently Batman named him Impulse.
I can see it. So I chose Gaetano Matarazzo, which Gaten Matarazzo from Stranger Things.
Oh my gosh.
I was wondering
so
what you were doing
dumb.
with that accent.
I was like, what?
Gaetano. His name is Gaetano. You know I gotta do the Italian hand.
No, you don't.
I don't. I probably shouldn't, but it's fun.
You should.
But yes, Gaten Matarazzo. He plays Dusty from Stranger Things. Dusty has this.
Frenetic energy.
Yes, he has this hyper when things are going on. He's just
So
he's smart
excited.
and he's figuring things out, but his energy is less than calm.
Yep.
And he wears it so well. And even though he is also no longer a teenager, he has this baby face.
Yep.
That I think he'll always have.
Probably.
So it works for him to play a teenager.
Yep.
You know, I would always default to the Stranger Things kids.
Yep.
And
We can only do that for so much longer, but yes.
I was like,
Well, listen,
make
we're
this count
already
as long as it can.
we're already at the deadline. So
Yeah.
They're already 20, so
Yep.
But
one
like,
of them
I
is about to get married.
I
So
get the baby face
Yeah,
one.
which hurt my soul.
Yeah, we're old. But yeah, also the kid's a really good actor, and he's just fun to watch.
he's on
Just like
Broadway
Kid
right now, I
Flash.
think.
Oh,
Yeah.
dope. Did not know that.
I think
He's
he's
doing theater. That's where he started.
is he in Sweeney Todd right now?
Mhm.
He's currently on Broadway with, funny enough, Bart Allen from the Flash TV series.
That's funny.
Yeah, he started on Broadway.
I love that. So yeah, Gaetano. That's my Bart.
All right, Gabby, who did you choose for Bart?
Okay. I was like, he's related to Barry Allen, who ends up with Iris, right?
Who is black? Yeah.
Who's black. I was like, this baby needs to be black. So I was like, who's one of the other children
Oh God.
that I know? And I watched Blackish, so they have like 4 kids on there.
Miles.
And yes,
Yes,
Miles
Miles.
Brown is my choice.
I looked at him too.
He was
Yeah.
almost mine.
I think
So
he was almost my Wally.
I went through a similar thought process because I was like, okay, Iris is black. He has at least a black grandmother, but I don't know a lot about the other side of his family. So I was like, that doesn't tell me whether or not I need to make this kid black. And had I watched more of Blackish instead of more Stranger Things, I would have picked Miles. I was like, I've seen this kid and I think he would work, but I've seen a lot more of Gaten Matarazzo's acting than I have of Miles Brown. So I went Stranger Things instead of Blackish.
That's fair. Yeah, I've seen just enough of Blackish that I'm like, he can handle it. Especially the parts of Blackish I saw was when he was really little.
Right.
Which meant he could only improve, right?
Okay, yeah.
He's hilarious. He's sweet. He is a good actor, even as a little kid. That's all I need to know because I don't know anything else about Bart Allen.
There are quite a number of people who also want him to play Miles Morales, a live action
Oh,
Miles
I've heard
Morales.
that.
I saw that while I was looking him up to see, how old he is and if he would probably
Right.
fit.
But cool. Miles.
Colin, who you got for Bart?
Did you know his full name is Gaetano John Matarazzo III?
I did, yes.
Damn,
I
I
was
gotta,
going to say it, but only the part I said worked for my Italian hands.
That's
I
fair.
thought. I honestly thought that he was going to tell us Bart's full name.
too.
And I was like, yeah, I did know that actually.
But yes.
You would already know that. That's not as interesting.
He has like a European noble name. Like he sounds like his name comes with a villa.
So does Bart Allen's.
Yeah.
Is it like Bartholomew?
It is indeed Bartholomew.
Colin, who's your Bartholomew?
Terrible name that. My Bartholomew is probably too old, but what do I care?
You don't.
I don't.
Never have.
It's Ashton Sanders because he slapped.
Oh,
Okay.
my friend went to high school with him.
Really?
Nice.
They went to a performing
cool.
arts high school together, and they actually performed Dreamgirls together. And he was her like love interest.
I think my cousin went to that same school.
Really?
Yeah. When it first opened.
Yeah, I think my friend, she was in one of the first classes.
Yeah.
Like, it was like really
She
early.
probably knows who my cousin is then.
Okay.
What kind of fancy school you people be going to?
It's a public high
Not
school
us.
in LA.
Right, I went to.
All right,
But yeah,
let's move
Ashton
on.
Sanders, we love him.
Yeah.
He was
Also-
very good in Moonlight.
Yeah.
Fun
Yeah.
fact: Barry Allen's name is also Bartholomew.
Yeah.
This is a family name. Of
Wow.
Silliness. But yeah, Barry is short for Bartholomew.
Wow.
To me, who's your Bartholomew?
My Bartholomew. Most of my information about Bart, as we have said, is from Young Justice.
Mhm.
But also, I have seen scenes, even though I had stopped watching The Flash by this point, I have seen scenes of Jordan Fisher playing
Yes.
Bart
you
Allen.
did.
Oh.
And even though he is playing Barry Allen's son, they made Bart his son and not his
Oh.
grandson.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was confused about a little bit.
But God, Jordan Fisher played it so perfectly. Like I was like, I can't match that. Like he's really so
I mean-
good as Bart. But yeah, I was like, I gotta pick some kids who are younger than Justice Smith.
Right.
That's why I kept Justice Smith. Because
Fair.
I was like, I can go younger than Justice, but I can't go much younger than that. But I have two choices actually.
Okay.
So my first one is J.D. McCrary, who is probably most well known for doing the voice of Simba
Yep.
in the live action Lion King. He's also well known for doing Broadway. I mean, he was good in the Lion King. What can I say? But also, yeah, he's young enough that he's still a teenager. He can still do the role of Bart and still be a teenager. It's very difficult. But once again, also trying to keep him black because I understand that Kiersey Clemens is light skinned, but I'm gonna hold out as long as I can
Yeah.
for as many generations as I possibly can. Like Dallas said, we don't know what the other side of the family look like.
All right.
Yep.
They could all be
Um,
black for all we know.
They could be. We don't even know what Iris's family looks like, to be honest.
It's true.
My other choice is Isaiah Russell Bailey, who is probably most well known for We Can Be Heroes, which is a movie that I don't particularly remember very well. But
me either.
I did like all the kid actors in that movie. He played Akira Akbar's twin in that movie, which I was trying to find a place for Akira Akbar, and I will, because
I'm
she's
sure.
great.
Yeah, I will too.
Because she's fantastic. But yeah, I thought he was good. I thought all those kid actors were good in that movie, and I was like, he's also the perfect age to still be playing a teenager. He's also done a sitcom on Netflix. I want to say it was Family Time, but I can't remember for certain if I'm correct on. No, it's not Family Time. What is it called? Oh, it's called Family Reunion. I knew it had something to do with family. And he also is in that new Disney Plus movie that just came out called Crater. And I watched a couple of clips from that, and he still has that youthful face and youthful energy
Yeah.
to play Bart. I saw him in a clip of I guess Elmo has a not too late talk show for kids.
That's
and-
adorable.
I know. And he was in it, and I was like, okay, you can give me the impulsive, hyperactive energy if you bumped this up to 10.
Right.
You could definitely do Bart Allen. So those two are my choices for Bart Allen because I love Impulse, and I think Impulse is great. Impulse is so much fun.
Nice.
And our final character on this list is Jessie Chambers, aka Jessie Quick, the daughter of Liberty Bell and Johnny Quick. Inheriting both of her parents' abilities of superhuman strength and Speed Force connection, Jessie had more interest in studying superheroes than actually becoming one. She was brought in by Wally to teach Bart how to use his abilities. Fascinating about her is that she's not like Barry and Wally and them, where she's like a speedster,
Mhm.
but if she thinks of the Speed Force equation, she can run at half the speed that they can.
Wild.
And that's how her
Interesting.
dad also uses the Speed Force.
Okay.
So they have a connection to the Speed Force, but they are not speedsters themselves, I guess.
Word.
Hey, close enough because they still run half speed of super fast is still pretty
Super
fast.
fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how Jessie Quick works. She also, I think, has gone by Liberty Bell, which is her mom's superhero name. Both of her
Yeah.
parents were part of the Justice Society of America.
Okay.
Dallas, who you got? The one character you knew nothing about.
Yes.
What was
I know
her
nothing about
mother's
Jessie Quick.
superpower? Was it oppression?
Hey.
It's funny you say that because The Boys has a racist superhero named Liberty Bell.
Oh,
Well,
Is it the one that?
Yeah, it turns out to be a Storm.
Was it Bell? Oh,
Stormfront's name was Liberty Bell back in the
I
day.
don't remember the
back in
Bell
Gabby's
being
time.
in there.
Oof, those were dark times.
Yes. So yeah, I know nothing. I don't know a lot about Jessie Quick, but we talked about this being the Flash family. Her parents were superheroes, so
You're going nepo baby.
she's a nepo baby. So I picked one of my favorite nepo babies, Maya Hawke,
Hey, that's a good one.
I love Maya Hawke.
because
She's a great nepo baby.
when I first did this, I might have been with Colin at the bagel shop and was like, well, Colin's gonna do it, I might as well do it too. And I was throwing names in here for characters I didn't know anything about. And I looked back at the name I had and I was like, why did I pick this person? I don't know anything about this actress. So I took her name off.
Who was that?
Don't worry about it.
Oh.
And I was like, I need to pick an actress who I've seen in more stuff and that I really like. So boom, Maya Hawke.
Hashtag Stranger Things for this episode. This episode has been brought to you by Stranger Things.
All of our fan casts that have teenagers in them are brought to you by
See, I
strangers.
feel
Although
like
in
if we're
fairness,
gonna
I
talk
didn't go
about
teen for
rules,
this.
We
Yeah.
gotta make
Yeah.
a rule that you can't cast the teens from
Suck
Stranger
it, Colin.
Colin, I'm about to start it because I think I have rarely ever used a
Things. I
Stranger
try
Things
not
kid.
to use
so.
them because
You have
they're
more
so
range than
ubiquitous.
we do.
They're ubiquitous because they're talented and they deserve
Yeah,
it.
they are very talented.
And it's funny because I didn't cast Jesse as a teenager. I was just
Me
like,
either.
I want someone relatively young.
Yes.
But I wasn't going like, I want you to be a teenager. The reason I usually end up with Stranger Things kids is because I'm trying to cast teenagers. Maya Hawke, I just really like.
She's great.
Yeah,
she's
so
phenomenal.
it just happened to be the reason I like her is Stranger Things, but it wasn't the same reason I usually go back to that well.
She is amazing in Do Revenge.
I've heard good things from you.
Incredible.
She's dope. She could relate to the nepotism of Jesse Quick. Also, her energy kind of like, not to the same level as Gaetano, obviously,
Mhm.
but just like
Nervous.
kind of, yeah, you know the way that she is,
Yeah.
Robin is in Stranger Things.
She talks
Like,
a mile a minute.
I think that would be very fun for another speedster. So hey, I'm blanking on the dude's name who plays Steve Harrington.
Joe Keery, you know what's
Yeah.
funny? I fan casted him as Barry Allen.
I love that. I was gonna say if I can work Joe Keery in here somewhere, that'd be great.
I already did that for you.
Love that.
Woo.
If DC decides to recast The Flash, which, you know, I'm not saying, well,
I think what was it just today?
it was the other day the director said that
Andy
the director said
Muschietti.
he wouldn't recast.
Right. The Flash.
Ooh.
But that's him.
You're right.
And I'm
He
just
doesn't
saying,
get final
See,
say.
I just
I'm just saying Joe
wonder-
Keery's right there.
See, we can't get into this, but like, do people still care that the star is a criminal?
We'll find out opening weekend.
Oh, you're right.
We'll find out this weekend.
Yeah, it's all gonna come back up. But yeah, that's my Jesse. Who's your Jesse?
Cool. Okay, so I picked an actor that I like that sort of fit the traditional physique of Jesse, so like blonde, and somebody that like I want to see in like a superhero movie that like I haven't really seen in like a big budget superhero
Mhm.
situation. So I picked Elle Fanning.
Interesting.
Okay.
Because I
She's
know
good.
she's known for more like smaller indie movies
And Maleficent.
and Maleficent. Like that, yeah. But that's the exception, right? It's not the rule with her. Ever since I saw her in, what is the name of that
Not
show?
Neon Demon, I'm assuming.
No.
Oh, The Great.
The Great. Ever since I saw her in The Great, I was like, oh my God, she's hilarious. She can totally do like lighthearted, sort of like action comedy superhero stuff. So I want to see her in something big budget like this. And yeah, Elle Fanning's my choice.
You know what's funny? In the Neon Demon, she plays a character named Jesse.
Yeah.
Ah.
I know nothing about that movie except
I don't
that
know
she's in
either.
it. It's about supermodels and Abby Lee is in it. And I think Abby Lee eats an eye or something like that.
Yeah, so I was
Ooh.
gonna say,
not my
while
vibe.
I worked at ArcLight, I walked in on the final scene of Neon Demon, and it haunted me for a long time
Wow.
because it is that thing you just described.
Abby Lee eating an eye is the reason I'm like, I'm not going to watch that movie as much as I love AbbyLee.
I was very
I
upset. I was like, I walked
I
in here
really
too
thought you
early.
were gonna say Abby Lee eating an eye is why I want to see that movie because that just sounds
No.
like something you would say.
No,
You never
it's
know
not.
with
I don't know with you.
I've seen several movies that are close to horror, or movies or TV shows that are close to horror or have suspense with Abby Lee. I'm not watching Neon Demon.
Who's your Jesse Quick?
My Jesse Quick is Emma Stone.
Oh,
Love
She's
that.
Emma Stone and she slaps.
She does
Cool.
indeed.
she does.
Plus, I didn't know anything about this character, but I looked her up and it was like, oh man, she was introduced and like shortly after she was in university, and I was like, all right, she's old enough that it can work. She doesn't have
I mean,
to be
Emma
a
Stone is
child.
Fully grown, but
Yeah, but
I mean,
she
she's
has a baby
34,
face.
but like, you know, that's fine. People go to college who are not just 18 to 22.
That's true.
Like, you can go to college later in life. So,
yeah, that's typically not who they make movies about.
I'm gonna say
but
if
yeah.
you do that in the
Fair.
movie, then the whole thing's gonna be like, oh,
About
you're the
that.
old person who went back to college.
Or like
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
fair.
whole movie.
You're Max
That's what the
Goof's dad.
entire
Right, that's the
movie about.
Yeah.
Okay, that leaves us with me giving us our final choice, well, of the official list. I was sticking with my pattern. I was like, I'm casting black people because that's where we're at now.
Nice.
So all of my information about Jessie Quick comes from the Flash TV series, where she was actually a prominent character for a season or two, and she was really, really great. Loved her. A lot of fun. I chose Yara Shahidi,
Nice.
Ooh.
especially after reading that she is kind of in the same age range as Wally West. They are both kind of mentors to Bart. Also, she has a bit of a feud with Wally because
Ooh.
Wally makes some decisions that make her mad, and she's like,
Hashtag
"Screw you, dude."
tension.
Not that kind of tension.
Aw,
Wally's
You're so on brand.
also Wally already has a girlfriend, Linda Park. That's his Iris West. Yeah, Yara Shahidi's a fantastic actress. It was funny because Colin was like, I read that she was in college, so I chose her. Yara Shahidi is in college.
Yeah. She's still at Harvard.
She is going to Harvard, and also her, like, one of the biggest things that she's known for is Grownish, which is literally an entire TV series about her character going to college. But yeah, Yara is a very, very talented young actress, and I've enjoyed her in everything I've watched. I loved her iteration of Tinkerbell. I really like her on Grownish for the time period that I was watching it. I've seen a few episodes of Blackish. She's great on that as well. Mm-hmm. So I just think that she would be great as a speedster. It would be cool. I don't think she's ever done a superhero movie either. So yeah, it would be fun. And I think that she could pull off being the more intellectual character who doesn't really have an interest in becoming a superhero, but still ends up becoming a superhero and carrying on her family's legacy.
Yeah.
I feel like she would carry that very well. The races would be mad, but you know.
We love when they're mad.
They always are.
Because they're terrible.
They're terrible. Before we call this a day, or actually before we get to Dallas's, I don't know if he's going to choose a director writer this time around. You are. Before he does that, I have bonus castings.
Hey,
So my bonus castings, I did a bonus cast for the Tornado Twins, aka Dawn and Don Allen, aka the twins who were born to Barry Allen and Iris West. So for Dawn Allen, I chose Nico Parker, and for Dawn Allen, I chose Jaden Noel.
What are the names?
Don and Dawn.
D-O-N and Dawn.
D-A-W-N.
They're brother and sister. They're twins.
They're twins. Dawn and Dawn Allen.
And
why would you curse them like that?
It's
Right?
wonderful.
Dawn.
So Dawn, D-O-N Allen, is actually Bart's father.
Yes.
Jaden Noel I originally had as Bart Allen, and I was like, I think you've kind of aged out of it now. And you also kind of look a little too old for it. But the Tornado Twins are kind of, in certain universes, are known for teaming up with Professor Zoom and kind of being villains for a while.
Right, okay.
So
Terrifying.
I think, but I think Nico Parker and Jaden Noel would do a really good job with that. I know Jaden Noel from Killjoys, and he was fantastic on that. And we've talked recently about Nico Parker and how much I thought she did a fantastic job in The Last of Us, and even in Dumbo, which isn't a movie that I particularly like that much, but she's good in that movie. And then Dawn Allen, aka D-A-W-N, Dawn, her daughter is Jenny Ognatz, aka XS. I chose Sophia Wiley, who is most well known for High School Musical, the musical, the series, who also I think would be a really good version, would be a really good young version of Journey Smollett's Black Canary. Okay. But that's not officially casting her as a superhero. So I initially had her as Jessie Quick, and then when I changed it to Yara, I thought that it would be cool if I just had her as XS as well. On the Flash TV series, XS is actually Nora Allen, which is who they have as Barry and Iris's daughter, instead of naming her Dawn. So yeah, the Tornado Twins and XS. Those were my bonus castings. Dallas, who you got for your director and writer?
You're hitting us with the deep cuts.
Right?
On Flash, I was like, XS, who the hell is that?
When I decided to do the Tornado Twins, I was just like, should I do Jenny? I feel like I should do Jenny too.
Yes. And I'm glad you did, because someone out there who's like the biggest Flash fan ever is always ready to talk about these characters.
Yeah.
And no one knows them. They're like, no one talks about the Tornado Twins. And then they're like, oh my God, you talked about XS.
Yeah, I know. So, and I knew that we were never getting around to fan casting those. So I was like, somebody out there is going to want those fan casted. And especially because I loved Jessica Parker Kennedy as XS. So
fair.
Nice.
All right, my director. So I took a bit of a risk.
You're not going to give it to Andy Muschietti?
I haven't seen the movie yet, but also no. I love Andy Muschietti's work on it. It's fantastic. I'm sure The Flash looks very good as well.
He's the one that like ended the movie, because they went through like 5 directors, right?
They did go through a lot of directors.
They went through like 5 directors, and he's 5, I think. And it looks like he did a great job.
Yes. There's not a whole lot of overlap between animation directors and feature film directors, especially going from TV to film. But
Brad Bird.
I went for Brad Bird.
That was Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I was like, let me change it up.
Yeah.
But then I thought, I don't work for Warner Brothers, so I don't have any pressure on me to make this actually work. My director is Joaquim Dos Santos.
Hey.
So he just made Across the Spider-Verse, one of the best movies ever.
Yeah.
As I said in our review for that, he directed all of season 1 of Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
The Puppet Master episode, the Boiling Rock episode, Southern Raiders, and part 3 and 4 of Sozin's Comet for Avatar.
Yep.
20 episodes of Justice League Unlimited. He's done a lot of DC stuff. He did the Green Arrow short, Jonah Hex, The Spectre, Superman versus Shazam.
Oh, so he did all the showcase.
He's done a lot of the showcases. But the thing for me that really gets me, and the reason I was a fan of his before even Spider-Verse was announced to have him as a director, is Justice League Unlimited, because he's directed like 20 episodes. One of them actually called Flashpoint. It's like it was made to be. And then one called Flash and Substance. And I've told you guys about this episode before, at least Colin. And it's one where they follow Wally, actually. And he's going around his town, and there's a villain named the Trickster.
Yes, I love the Trickster.
It's that one.
Mark Hamill, I think, played him on the show.
He played him on the live action show, yeah. Shout out Mark Hamill. You know, they get a call about Trickster wilding out or whatever, and he goes in there, and Trickster's in this bar, and he's hanging out with Batman and Orion, one of the new gods, for some reason, because Justice League Unlimited will just take characters out of a hat and put them together.
Young Justice style.
Yeah. So Orion is like, he's going in cop style. He's like, let's beat his ass. And Wally's like, yo, chill. And he goes over and he talks to the Trickster. He's like, hey, man, what's going on? The Trickster talks about his whole situation, and he talks him down, and it's basically like, we talked about this. You know, you have to take your meds, you have to do this, you have to do that. And he de-escalates the situation like someone should, without hitting him, without fighting him. He just is an actual hero. And it's one of my favorite moments of that entire show. And that episode is directed by Joaquin Dos Santos. And I think it would be dope to see, one, if he'd be even interested in doing a live action movie. Yeah. But if he was, I think he could knock it out of the park. And my writers are Lord and Miller, because of course it is. They're great.
I feel like they were originally supposed to write the Flash movie.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were involved at some point.
I think they were.
Who hasn't
in Hollywood wasn't?
Right.
Me.
Yeah, they were picked to write the story treatment for the Flash.
Sure about that to me?
Right? You may be forgetting the 5 minutes where discussing film had you listed as the writer.
It's in my junk mail. Oh, dang it. I missed it.
But yeah, they were picked to write the story treatment apparently for the Flash. And you know what? I was gonna say they should have kept them, but I haven't seen the movie yet. Maybe I don't know how that works out.
Christina Hodson is a fantastic writer, so
yes, I do like Christina Hodson. I really, really like Lord and Miller, so I think they could do a Flash movie very well, like they did a Spider-Verse movie very well, because they're amazing. So yeah, those are my peeps. So we have successfully cast the Flash family.
All of them, basically.
Yeah, despite the fact that half of us didn't know anything about any of these characters. Love that for us. We did it. I'm assuming Colin and Gabby have no bonus castings for this.
I do not.
No.
Colin barely does the regular casting. Anyway, thank you, audience. Thank you for listening to all of that. Ignore what Colin said. We like that stricken from the record.
It's probably cut from the episode.
Thank you, Crown Digital, Brandon, and Io for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. To me, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube, being the other people who knows these characters, and repping for whoever out there is a really big fan of the Tornado Twins.
And XS.
Love that. Gabby and Colin, thanks for coming through to cast these characters who are completely random to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got you, boo.
Gabby looked like she was disassociating for a second.
I was. Right? I was like listening and then I was gone.
Jesus.
That's in this episode.
We're almost done. Audience, what do you think of these fan casts? What do you think of our choices? Who would be your choices? Who would you pick for Barry when they get Ezra Miller off the streets?
Joe Curie.
To me, has a good one.
That's a really
also, RJ Kyler. Pick one.
He was also almost my Wally.
He was also almost your Flash, or for Barry Allen.
He's great. I'm going to find a place for him. Not yet, but he's getting there. Let us know in the comments or hit us on Twitter at y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC, or TikTok at Creative Differences Pod. If you want to talk to me more about that dope ass Flash episode from Justice League Unlimited, I am on Twitter and Instagram at King Named Simba.
Hi, if you want to talk to me about not this, you can talk to me on Instagram at Stegosaurus.
Well, that was the greatest line we're ever going to have. If you want to talk to me about, I don't know, anything that moves at a slower pace, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DuckMcGuck.
And if you guys want to talk to me or just remind me that I need to rewatch Dope, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DreamyFilm. Dreamy spelled DREEMI. Thanks again for joining us. Tune in next time. We will be giving a review for the long-awaited movie that we thought was never going to come out, The Flash.
Yes. Ooh. And then Colin will actually believe that the movie is coming out.
Yeah. That's what it's going to take. I don't.
That's fair. All right. It's been different. Bye.
Bye.
So this tag is mostly for Demi.
Oh, God.
But, it's up for grabs for anyone.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Demi, do you think Umar Johnson is going to be mad that Iris is with a white man in The Flash?
Probably.
Who's that?
To be fair, hasn't the character always been?
Well, Iris is usually a white redhead.
Okay.
Well, recently she's been black. But
thank you, Candace Patton. We appreciate your work.
Candace Patton. But yeah, Umar be wildin'. Gabby, we'll tell you off mic.
For the rest of you guys out there, don't go listen to his stuff.
Yeah, if you don't know, don't find out.
Don't give that man engagement.
It's not worth the entertainment you're gonna get from it.